So, in this video, we will dive into what a man thinks when he loves a woman. And as you will see, it is very counterintuitive because women and men love differently. They feel love differently. They think differently when they are in love. They act differently when they are in love, as proven many times by science, by the way. Dr. Helen Fisher is one of the many scientists who has studied this, and the research is really interesting because this means that loving actions coming from a guy will be totally different than loving actions coming from a woman. And because those two don't perfectly match up, it's easy for a woman to think, he doesn't love me, when in fact he does, and vice versa. So this here can create a dangerous self-fulfilling prophecy, because if as a woman you would believe, he doesn't love me, then your behavior will probably change. You may withdraw a little bit, or you may become needy, but he will in turn change his behavior as well, and then you may say, see, I was right, when in fact you were wrong. So let's dive in. Neuroscientists like Dr. Reuven Gur from the University of Pennsylvania and Dr. Daniel Amen, a brain disorder specialist, and many other scientists have found that female and male brains are different, very different. They are built in a totally different way. What their research and their studies have shown, and this is very interesting, is that a man's brain is anatomically designed to shut off, to shut down, and to act when the emotions get high. And I'll explain what that means. When a man sees that he has strong emotions, when he feels it, for instance, when he sees a pigeon that drops something smelly on the hood of his car, when a TV remote disappears, both very stressful events to most guys, then he will get a lot of emotions because of it and his brain shuts off, as proven by science. Now you may think that this is totally childish and ridiculous, but this actually came in very handy back in the Stone Age when our brains were designed. You and your guy would have been walking around enjoying each other, and all of a sudden you sensed that a saber-toothed tiger starts to lick your legs because he's about to eat you. Now, what your guy would then do is that he would act instead of talk. And I think we can all agree that that is obviously the right course of action here. Now, your brain is different. When a woman's brain gets very emotional, it wants to talk. Can you see how incompatible that is, especially in relationships? There are a lot of emotions, his brain shuts off, and yours wants to talk. That's also a problem in the Stone Age, because there you are with that saber-toothed tiger, and you want to have a talk. So hey, what are your plans with me? Where's this going? And I make fun of it, but you would probably start to scream, which is still using your words. It's a form of talking. So all of this has important repercussions and consequences in relationships. When a man's infatuated, when a man loves a woman a lot, then that's a high emotion for him. So he's not going to talk about it. So there you are, affectionately saying, I love you. And he comes back with a, so, want some pizza? Men. And so exactly because he will probably not talk about what it feels like to him to be in love with you, I will give you an insight in what a man is thinking when he loves a woman. So here's a first important secret. When a man loves you, he wants to matter to you. So he's looking for different forms of validation, but in different ways than you may think. For instance, for a woman, knowing that he's thinking about you may be an important sign of love to you. An example is that he comes home with a gift proving that he thought of you, or he didn't forget about an important anniversary for a change, or he messages you, he sends you a message stating that he is thinking about you. All of this will probably make you feel pretty good, right? Now, interestingly, all of this would not matter as much to most guys. It would matter not at all to some, because other things are way more important. When you love a guy, as a woman again, then your mind may think, does he love me? Where is this going? He, on the other hand, will have other thoughts. He will be thinking, does she think that I'm a hero? That I'm a warrior, an alpha male, possibly even a god? Or at the very least, he will think, does she believe that I'm better than other men in something? I always say that it's never a good idea to talk about your ex, but he will be talking and thinking about your ex in his own brain. So he will have thoughts like, am I better than her ex when it comes to, and then a whole list of things. in the bedroom, but also outside of the bedroom, because most men do think about other things as well occasionally. But when he loves you, he wants to be important to you, because that will encourage him, that will help his very sensitive ego. All men have a sensitive ego. I have one myself, it's inside here somewhere, it's pretty annoying, but we have that. And because of this, he wants to feel special. He wants to feel like you could have chosen many other men because other men are attracted to you, but you picked him because he's special to you. That's what he's thinking about, what will probably never tell you and may even deny. Now the tricky thing here, the trap here, is that you cannot put him on a pedestal too soon, because then he will lose the challenge that he needs to feel as well. That's very difficult, isn't it? Love is a verb after all, but it's obviously also a lot of fun. And that here brings me to the second point. When a man loves you, he will see you as a high-value woman, by definition. Otherwise, he wouldn't love you. So he sees you as someone precious, someone valuable to him. When a man loves you and wakes up next to you in the morning and you are still sleeping, then he will be staring at you, watching you sleep, wondering how he got so lucky for you to fall for him, for you to be in the same bed at that moment. But he will only have those loving thoughts because of the challenge you represented in the beginning, and hopefully still represent at this point in time, because being a challenge, at least a little bit, will always remain important. And I explain how to be that challenge elsewhere, even in my newsletter on brianknox.com, where I have videos that I don't post on YouTube, for instance. When he loves you, somewhere in his mind, he has a fear of losing you. And as strange as that may sound, he needs some of that fear. That's what generates the challenge. One final point. Because men don't often talk about things that give them high emotions, what he will probably not do, even when he loves you dearly, is text you how much he adores you, how much he loves you 20 times a day. He may not even say it at all. That's why I always say in all of my books that you always need to look at his actions, not his words, because his brain is designed that way. When everything that represents high emotions, he will act and not talk about it. So always remember the golden rule. Bad men will always invest the absolute minimum to still get what they want from you. So look at his actions. They speak louder than words. If you want more insights into the male brain, come on over to brianknox.com or go to Amazon, type in my pen name, Brian Knox, and then you can read one of my books if you want. I want to thank you for being here. I hope that this video has inspired you at least a little bit more than your average funny cat video. I've loved making it for you, and I look forward to seeing you again in the future.